go. All right. Welcome to another live stream. This is one where I have a bit of a controversial take. Where you can see by the title, I've called it Fake Rivalries. But I might hold back on talking about it for just a little bit until people drop in. So yeah, for now, we'll just talk about the other stuff that I've been doing. I got what was I doing? I was just doing a bit of Greg Murphy research, as you do. Just looking at what's going on with Murph. So I was looking at 04, what happened in 04 that could have cost him the championship, and what happened to Rick Kelly during the year. He could have had a better year, but I don't know exactly what happened at Gold Coast, but he seemed to have issues. Where he started third, dropped the 21st. And it just seemed like a lot of the time across the season, while Murph could qualify well, Rick, once he got going, he was beating Murph pretty regularly. It was first and a third for Murph. And then I'm of the belief that they were driving Rick's car and maybe Rick qualified for the Enduros, but I don't know. I suppose it depends what the rules were, but I think the rules were pretty open about who drove the car, who started the car. It was just up to whoever wanted to do it. But yeah, you got Murph was spun by Paul Morris and a slightly slow pit stop. Incident with Bow that seemed to happen. Front guard rubbing on the tyre, repairing the pits, but he still ended up 5th, so not too bad. Held up by slow starting escape, got past between laps 6 and 11 and finished 4th. And then Ambrose closing him to the grass off the line, and then and later on span himself at pit entry. And what else? Don't know what the crash at QR was. And then you got this one at Tassie, span around at the hairpin after being run to the concrete by the outside wall by Lowndes. It was a bit of a weird one. I think he's just bounced off the wall or something, whatever it was, and just spun. I wouldn't say that was like Lowndes' fault. It was just a weird one. There's a couple where it's just like he just run out of talent. Like he ran out of talent here at Perth. So they say that having dirt by the pit entry can be a bit of an issue. Obviously, you got the sand pit just before the pit entry back in 2004. And so you could end up on the dirt. But you think someone like Greg Murphy, who was supposed to be a very good driver, maybe wouldn't have made those sorts of mistakes. And then just quite a few times where qualifying didn't work out. But even then, I think Rick just had better race pace. And, we talk about Chaz Mostert versus Ryan Wood. And I think that this is kind of like that, where Rick Kelly's like the Ryan Wood coming through, except, well, it was up like 03. There's a couple of times that, Rick wasn't qualifying too badly. Just outside the top 10 he wasn't a rookie, but it was his second year. He did a full year of 2002 in the HSV Hold Young Lions car, and then he moved to Kmart Racing when Todd moved to HRT, and so they had one less car, I think, in 2003. And so he started to. It was about the same in 03, but 04 he really improved his craft. And really just got a lot of results done. But I think there's quite a few times. Don't know what happened at Darwin there, because all I've got is the second race. I could probably do a bit of hunting on YouTube to try and find it. But don't know what happened with that third one, if he had an issue or if something happened. And this one was just this last one at Perth. Rick just didn't have the race pace, basically. A bit of a sometimes I had just a whole bad day for the whole Kmart racing team. Um, and then you got this one, poor start, drop spots. That's not that's a lock up and beached it. So that's a bad one there. Don't know how he got back up because sometimes they just cut heaps of stuff out because of the old way they used to broadcast things that you just didn't see what happened. They just cut to an ad and that was the end of it. Gold Coast, not sure what happened, but very bad weekend for Rick. And I imagine that he might have been a lot closer in the championship before then. So then there's an engine failure at Tassie. I don't believe he had any other issues apart from that. And then this one, he just had this incident with Lowndes at SMP. So, and this is a weird one for Murph there. Drive-through penalty for potentially for being in the operating lane for too long. Just so he wasn't in the fast lane. He was in the operating lane where they actually changed tires and stuff. And when he came out, he was just still in there. So got a penalty for that. And I think he just didn't quite have the race pace either. So he was just didn't have the speed to get back up into the 10. Because I think he qualified. Well, I think he didn't even race into the 10 or anything. So just not a good one there. But I was working on my little list of who's the best. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to show the entire screen. Entire screen? Who's the best? I'll show that. Show like that. Okay. I'll move that out of the way. So I've sort of made my list a lot more comprehensive. I did this last night and this morning. So you got the first tier. And so the way I rank the drivers is based on were they better than their teammates, and how often were they beating their teammates. So I say the Garth Tander regularly beat his teammates, and the only time he didn't was in his rookie year against Jason Bargwanna. Um, even when James Courtney was out qualifying him pretty regularly in the Car of the Future HRT days, it was still pretty close that you could say Garth was still doing a great job. Then you got Scafie. The only times that he was beaten by his teammates was when he first started and he was up against Jim Richards at the top of his game. And then his last year against Garth Tander, who smashed him. Then you got Craig Lowndes, and I might have to move some things around because all I've really done in some cases, or in some cases, I've added a um, in some cases I've added a 6th tier and moved some drives down because they were always beaten. But up the top there, I haven't really changed anything. So you got Craig Lowndes, who wasn't consistently beaten until Jamie Whincup. When Whincup got his stuff sorted and started beating Lowndes, like out qualifying him regularly and out racing him for many years. 2015, Lowndes had it pretty sorted. I think Whincup was just struggling, and that was more the comparison. Shane Van Gisbergen, the only time that he was regularly beaten was James Courtney in 2008. So it was his first year at Stone Brothers, second year in the category. And Jamie Whincup only beaten 3 years ever. Garth Tander 2003, his rookie year. Just didn't really, he needed to pull his finger out and do a better job. Craig Lowndes 2006, which is obviously peak Lowndes, and Whincup was driving a Lowndes style car. And so from 2007, Whincup and Duddo worked on changing the car, the setups to suit Jamie and the way he liked to drive. And that's when they started to beat Lowndes. And then obviously 2021, where SVG dominated and beat everyone, and Whincup was maybe just not quite as good anymore. And then Scott McLaughlin was never regularly beaten, and neither was Marcus Ambrose. Um, so yeah. But I think they just didn't have a really good teammate. Like McLaughlin, um, apart from like Fabian Coulthard was competitive against him, but not regularly beating McLaughlin. And Ambrose, he had what, Dave Bernard and Russell Engel. And while Russell Engel was good, he wasn't that good. Yes, he won a championship. Yes, he won Bathurst when he was with Larry Perkins, and he won several races and was in contention for championships, but he wasn't really in contention because he was up against HRT at a time when they were dominant, and he wasn't really close enough to be able to get the job done. And when he did get the job done, it was because Ambrose was making mistakes, and um, well, Engel was just doing a very good job in 2005. I think he was doing such a good job that he did actually deserve that championship. He didn't luck his way into it. He had to work for it. Um, and I think after that, maybe he took his foot off the throttle and sort of relaxed a little bit and did things his old way, because that was sort of the marketing way was the gloves are off. Engel's been hitched and he's not holding back. And that was sort of the marketing around his title defense. And but maybe that was just what was written in the Eclipse 500 program for 2006. So yeah, so second tier, competitive and often enough beat teammates. So you got Rick Kelly was beaten, and I'm not sure if I want to put Rick Kelly in third tier or keep him in second tier, because Rick Kelly at times was very good. He was very good in '04. He wasn't so good in 2002, not in 2003. Basically, he was good in 2004, and then from 2008 through to 2018, which that's a long time to be beating your teammates. Um, and he was up against I gotta think of who was good. Like Todd Kelly was good, but Todd Kelly was also driving for his own team, and I think he made more sacrifices. And maybe wasn't as focused. Um, then you got Michael Caruso in the Nissan days. Murph came back. Murph wasn't really that good anymore. Um, David Reynolds was sort of impressive. But mainly Michael Caruso. I think Caruso was particularly challenging for Rick in the Nissan days. And James Moffat was pretty good as well, but not quite as good. But yeah, Rick was very good at times, but he wasn't as good as Garth Tander the time they were teammates, which is why I think if Garth wasn't smashed by anyone at any stage apart from his first year, he deserves to be the top guy because he had driven top machinery at times, and we've had this argument, me and Bootleg, a few times that, or maybe it was just the once that he said that Garth Tander should have won on the championship in 2008, but unfortunately, I don't really have much video evidence for that. I might need to check the Russian website to find 2008 footage, because I don't think the HRT car was that good. It was good at times, but Whincup and Triple Eight were better than HRT. That's my belief. But the main point is that he didn't have a teammate pushing him, and Scaife he seemed to be past it by then. But it's interesting. You think, how long should a driver be really good for before you consider them not good enough because you got Craig Lowndes there, and basically as soon as as Whincup rocked up and started doing well, Lowndes looked pretty average compared to Whincup, apart from 2015. So he did the first 10 years of his career where he was the best guy, and then uh, then he was being beaten for another 10 years, and that was the end of it. So, but then you look at like Scafie drove, what's that, 15 years roughly, it's like 17 years of Scaife not being consistently beaten. So, but Scaife was up against Lowndes in the 90s with HRT in 2000. So they were neck and neck. SVG was very good in the Stone Brothers days. He wasn't winning championships at Stone Brothers or doing anything amazingly impressive, but he was like the best guy most of the time. And then drove a Techno where it was basically just him the entire time. And then he went to Triple Eight where he was up against Whincup, where he was still doing a great job, and until 2021. So, Mark Winterbottom is an interesting one, and I think the more I've got these drivers who are, I could just like, I think it might make it a bit easier. Yeah. You got Mark Winterbottom. He was beaten by Jason Bargwanna. And I was tempted to put Jason Bright there for 2006, but Frosty was very good. Brighty outqualified him. I think it was, I don't know if it was all the time, it was most of the time. But Frosty raced really well, nice and cleanly, didn't have too many incidents. And he ended up beating Brighty in the championship. And he was in contention for the championship at the end there. And it makes you think, Frosty was really good at that time. Give him a, and the FPR car at that time it was competitive enough to win the championship. It was a little bit off HSV and Triple Eight, and HRT because Scafie should have won the championship, but everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And then basically once Chaz started getting good, Chaz started beating Frosty, and then Frosty left. And then his last year, 2024, up against Dave Reynolds, where Reynolds would race to better positions where Frosty wasn't able to do that. The only difference between Frosty and Dave Reynolds in 2024 seemed to be that while they would both qualify in a position that could get them a podium, Frosty delivered, but Reynolds couldn't. But still, that's only a couple times that Frosty was able to get that done. And the rest of the time he was mid-pack and not able to drag into the top 10, whereas Reynolds was able to do that. And you could say that was Reynolds' last good year because 2025 wasn't great and this year hasn't been great. And so it could be the very end. It could be the end for Reynolds because he's not racing well and he's not qualifying well, which is why I've got him down a bit further. Brock Feeney, I've put him, the only year that he was consistently beaten was by Shaman Gisberg in 2022. I think 2023, there were times where you would go, Brock might be better than SVG. And so I've got him second tier. And I wouldn't put Will Brown 2024 because it was sort of like Will Brown was good in race, was better in race trim, Brock was better in quality trim. And if it's like that, it's not really a fair comparison to say that this other guy beat you the whole time because he didn't. So, but I've got Brock in second tier because, well, he hasn't won the championship yet, so that could be it. But it's not really all his fault. 2024 he didn't do a good enough job. Last year, the car broke down at the wrong time, and it's just bad luck. Hopefully this year is the year that he can do it. I think I want to put Brody Kostecki in second tier or maybe first tier, but I'm not sure because obviously Brody beat Will Brown and has beat Will Davison, beat Jack LeBrock. Um, who else? Yeah, so some of these younger drivers, I don't really have them in there. I think the only one I've really got is Brock. Yeah. Jim Richards, I've got him second tier, and the only time he really fell off was when Scafie started coming through and beating him. So, and they were teammates for quite a few years before Scafie started beating Richo regularly. I think it was 1990 or 1990. I think 1991 was Scafie's first full year, and halfway through that year, Scafie started um, uh, beating Richo, and that's when he started beating him. Started fading away, and then by 1995, Richo was sort of nowhere. But Jim Richards obviously won several championships. Was it 4? I think he was a 4-time champion, 85, 87, 90, and 91. The years in the brackets. The years in the brackets are years that are like exceptions to the rule. So like for Garth Tander up the top there, competitive or regularly beat teammates, except for Jason Bhagwan in 1998. So that's what that means. And it's a bit of a mess, but it's sort of me trying to provide detail to explain why I think drivers should be in certain positions. But it's a bit messy. I did say earlier that I think maybe Rick Kelly should be third tier, but I'm not sure because he was better than quite a few drivers, but not as good as other drivers. And there were times when Rick was very good, and there were times where he ran out of talent, and maybe he was running out of talent later in his career. Yeah. Scott Pye tier 2, because I can't think of a time when Scott Pye was regularly beaten by anyone. Like Dean Fiore 2013, David Wall 2014, Fabian Coulthard 2016. I think they were evenly matched. James Courtney 2017 to 2019, and Mark Winterbottom 2020 to 23. They were pretty evenly matched. I think the difference is that Scott Pye never got in top machinery. So that's probably what it was. I think if Scott Pye was in any team that's been competitive enough to win championships. Also feel like he had weak teammates. Yeah, well that's it. Fabian Coulthard was a pretty good teammate for him. Frosty was sort of past his peak at that point. James Courtney was still good enough, and wasn't being regularly beaten, but he wasn't like the Courtney of old when he first started and was really good. So when he became the teammate of most drivers that are over the hump or just not supercars level. Yeah, I mean he was up against Dean Fiore and David Wall in his first 2 years. Those aren't guys that you're going to be impressing anyone by beating. So I should probably put that in my brackets. So we call teammates not top not great competition, and never got a top drive. I can put that. James Courtney. Yeah, I think Courtney's 2011 got smacked up by Tander, didn't he? He did. It was yeah, pretty much. Just I had a lot of issues as well. I don't think I think there were quite a few times where they didn't. Both of them didn't. I think it was Queensland Raceway 2011. I think it was the one that they qualified down the back, and Garth drove his way through the field, and Courtney was just sort of nowhere all weekend. Uh, and then I guess they sort of sorted it out uh, in Car of the Future. A lot of it was he was just a crash kid. He couldn't take care of the car. Yeah, early days he was definitely like that, especially 2006 when I think for Courtney I don't have Engel for 2006 because I think Courtney had Engel. Um, I think Engel was um, HRT days, couldn't take care of the car. Okay, yeah. Um, 2011 and 12 he stunk. Yeah, I suppose when you think about it, think of like I think Abu Dhabi 2011. That was just a bit of like a concertina. He got washed by Tanda. Yeah, he did. He was getting beaten by Tanda. Um, and then um, yeah, but it wasn't like a total whitewash. So I don't have Garth Tanda there. So why is that? He didn't. It wasn't a total whitewash. That's what I mean. So like there was enough times that Courtney was beating Tanda that that I think that they were competitive enough. Uh, but I think my definition is a bit broad. I think that's part of my problem. That if I made it a lot more clear cut, which is why I'm trying to define it there with the stuff in the brackets. Try and because I think where's like the thing that I've done before where I've gone, you know, is 60-40 an okay difference, or does it need to be like 70-30? That if you're getting beaten 70-30, then you're not good enough. But if it's 60-40, is that close enough? Um, or should it be like within 10%? So then it would be 60-40. Even if you lose by 1 point, you lost. Yeah, but it's irrelevant of how close it is too. Yeah, but I think if you've got to be fair sometimes and say just because hang on, how do I say it? Like you lose by 1 point, you're lost. I agree with that, but you don't sack a guy because you lose by 1 point. If you lose by 10 points every time, oh yeah, if it's all the time, then it looks different. And so I think 2013 was when Courtney turned the tide against Tanda. And so that's when it started to look really close between them. Wink versus Winterbottom. Yeah, well, that's it. If like Wink was destroying Winterbottom every year, and they call that a rivalry, but I just call that a whitewash. Winterbottom looks mid, yeah, but it wasn't Frosty's fault. It was he was driving for a team that wasn't as good as the other team, so he's just doing the best job he can in a team that wasn't a top team. There was like one top team, and the rest of them were close. He was always close, yeah. But for what years was it? 20 fucked up plenty of times. Frosty did. Yeah. I want to watch more races and get more detail on what happened because 2008 it was on a platter. Yeah. I wish we had some 2008 races to watch, then that'd be good. Um, but I think you said the same thing about Garth Tander 2008. That I think it was at Tassie. Your main rival can't miss around you, still choke. Yeah, I think Wincub just destroyed everyone that year. He when he came back, he was beating everyone regularly, and everyone else wasn't consistent enough to get it done. Um, they were all making dumb mistakes. Yeah. Where is my Win Cup one? I think it's in SVG because I'm weird like that. No, Be Lounge. Tasmania, Candlelight White. Yeah, well, he should have had. He should have had a car that was able to come back through the field. I think it's in the Lowndes one. Oh, which I've already got open. Show you that. Lounsey. 2008. So he was just top tens all the time, non-stop, just relentless. I think everybody else had way worse times. SVG first champion was lucky too. So I see why you didn't add that. Yeah. But I think SVG and Win Cup were close enough to each other, except for 2021. Win Cup was better than him until 2018. Yeah, like 16 and 17 Win Cup better than SVG. Let's have a look. I mean, I feel like we've gone through this so many times. Halfway through the season, it turned. Yeah. Well, in Win Cup's book, he was saying that. Win Cup was killing him in 2016. Then the Enduros happened. Yeah. I mean, that's the wet race in Adelaide. You can't really fault anyone for that one. It's just sort of based on strategy. Whatever the hell happened at Tassie? It's a weird one. It's so close. Very strong performances there. What did I say? I was saying that Tassie's a bad one there. I don't know what happened there. Oh, that's right. SVG slipped on the oil. Yeah. What happened to Win Cup? Did Win Cup go off as well? Or penalty, maybe? Win Cup crashed in the oil. Oh, yeah. Whose oil was it? 2016. Crash and oil was already almost a lap down, though. Forget why. Yeah. Waters. Okay, yeah. Those dirty, filthy tick-fit cars, dripping oil everywhere. I think I get so close in terms of quality. If I was looking at top fives, Win Cup's got it, but SVG was never noted for being incredible at quality. He had to learn how to be really good at quality at Triple Eight, I think. What's that? That's one bad race. The other one's not so bad, but that's a big points one at Adelaide. There's Tassie. Bad one at Darwin. Can't remember what happened there. Something happened at QR for some reason. It's like SVG had a lot of, yeah, and then the Enduros happened. SVG didn't have anything go wrong, and then he's right in it. Drive-through penalty overtaking Caruso restart. Oh, okay. Just Darwin, yeah. Oh, I mean, you say Caruso, Caruso 2016, I think Darwin, because I can't think of any other races apart from Adelaide where he lucked into a podium. Um, but yeah, it looks like there were a few things that went wrong for SVG that had him further down in the championship compared to Wink Up. And then from the Enduros, he was right in it. And then it's very close. And then that probably cost him. That spin there, that must have been the synchronized spinning there Wink Up caused. Yeah. Both times Triple Eight cars crashed. Wink Up's fault. Wait, what was the other time? What was the other time? Crazy, can only think of 2 times. 2014 Tasmania. Oh, yeah, yeah. Was that one Wink Up's fault? I thought it was Lowndes' fault. Yeah, I was just thinking 2016. I wasn't thinking other for all time. So yeah, I think Wink Up was much more of like a dog with a bone than Lowndes. I think once he started getting regularly beaten by Wink Up, Lowndes sort of let things go a bit more. Maybe didn't race people quite as hard. Fully Wink Up's fault, but it's like you don't make that move on your teammate. Yeah, that's right. And it's a difficult track to get any kind of move done apart from he kind of has to know you're there and let you through, which is why I think that Roland Dane was angry at both of them. That Wink Up was faster, maybe he should have said something. Let's watch that race. Or let's watch a clip of it or something. This is 2005. Yeah, that's 2005 stuff. Good times. Because I will not get in trouble for streaming 2014 races. But I think 2022 is fine. I think 23 I got in trouble. I can't remember. 2014. Let me looking further up. I think. Yeah, I was just gonna look for the full race rather than the incident, but well, we're getting close. It'll come up. All right, 2014 Supercars Tasmania. All right, cool.
The excitement in his voice about starting up the front and messing it with the big guys. Well, that's something that's really going to play out in a fantastic way. So let's just recap where we are for you. Simmons Claims, we first started racing here in the Australian Touring Car
God, the graphics package changes every couple of years. It's different all the time. And then you get people saying that graphics package gets stale. It's like it changes every 2 years. Why are you talking about it changing? Well, I think 2017 to 20 it was similar.
Lends itself to great racing and a lot of incidents along the way. Will Davison, Erebus Motorsport, Mercedes AMG.
It's not improving. Yeah, it's just different colors. It's not better, it's just different. Look at that, 2014. Because this is the second round, that's why you just have one bad round. If you want to change it, make it better. Yeah, exactly. Just make subtle changes. Especially this year, it's like they made these changes and the thing's half broken. Oh, is this Ingles on at the front? Reynolds good quality. There'll be Scott Pye because it wouldn't be David Wall at the front. Pissed me off when they told Scotty they can't do picture in picture. Anyone can do picture in picture. YouTube can do picture in picture. David Wall 11. It's because everything they do is ancient technology. That's the problem. They need to get like an 18-year-old or something to be running the graphics team. Yeah. Jack Perkins way down the order.
2 wins. He's going to find himself mid-pack, and we go back to Dale Wood in position 24 and Nick Percat. Remember his qualifier.
Percat should be able to get through. There's Scotty Pye. Why was he a couple spots down on David Wall? Because Wall was 11th. The whole stack of cars, the whole stack of cameras to give you the best angle of the best touring car category in the world, Super Chip Auto Racing. Tim Slade. David Wall was actually decent through the year. David Wall got a couple top 10s, not too bad. He had his moments where you're like, hey, David Wall might not be terrible. He did drive for several teams that weren't good for the like third driver at BJR. This was probably his best shot, 2014 DJR. Went to GRM against Scott McLaughlin. Nobody did well against Scott McLaughlin. Apart from Alex Premer in his first year, but then once Scotty got good, he was really good. He's coming last, yeah. Everyone was coming last. So was Scott. They had power steering failures a lot of the time. And I think engine issues as well throughout 2015. Like, it cost Scotty a much better year. Because he started the year on the back foot because of those issues. Pye's only a couple of spots off. There's Garth Tander way down the order. He must be like 10th or something on the fringe there. I think this is one. Wincup's best year by far, 2014. Wincup's best ever year was 2009. He just destroyed everyone. He had the championship lead from the very beginning to the very end. Nobody got close enough. Some people got closer, and then they dropped off. Is this an issue on SVG's car at the back? Wasn't leading until like 3-4 rounds in. 2009. Nah, he was leading. Pretty sure. Because he won Adelaide. Oh, 2014, yeah. 2014, it took him a while to get going. And then when he got going, then everyone was left in his dust. How did Reynolds get past Ingle? Oh, Ingle must have had a bad start. Imagine he won Bathurst too. Yeah. And that's why somebody like that was God intervening to stop it from happening. He's like, Jamie, you can't get everything. It's not fair on the rest of them. You can have championships, but you can't have lots of Bathursts as well. That's lousy. Steve pushing. That what? That work spin. Lapped out at lap 100. Oh, wow. Leading the last lap. Yeah. That's just like a never give up. There's a few interesting stories in his book. Like talks about things that he learned. Using safety cars correctly. Yeah, pretty much. There must have just been enough safety cars because you couldn't do that in, I think, 2018. There weren't enough safety cars, so he wasn't able to get back to win the race. Even though I lost the wheel before lap 100. Piss me off so bad.
So a little crunch there, delayed Davison. That makes him slow off the corner. Tanner's having a crack. It's all happening in Tassie.
Could have won that. There's a lot of races that Whincup could have won. A lot of Bathurst that he could have won.
This is on Davison. Reynolds, Tanner now down the inside. He gets the bottom line forward. Coulthard will go with him. This is the fight for the tail of the top 10. Davison is 8. Tanner is 9.
The reason Whincup could have won isn't even because of him. Which is good. Because there were enough times when his co-driver was so much faster than the other ones. Yeah. Pulled umbrella faster than Stephen Richards. Love to see it. 3/10 off Whincup's pace. Yeah, good. Because that was the first year that Dumbrell was doing Super 2. The other co-driver was like 6/10. So wow. Yeah, so because that was the first year that Dumbrell was doing Super 2. Get that practice in. Because he lost it 2013, right? Because Dumbrell screwed it up. He's come back, done a really good job. Or 2018, not 2014? Oh, okay. 2013. 2018, Dumbrell doing it. Yeah, I remember that. Was that the one? No, am I thinking of 2018's one with the squeegee? Or 2017's one with the squeegee? It was 2018 they won Sandown. Then they went to Bathurst. Yeah. Dumbrell pissed me off, yeah. Dumbrell had his moments. He just had to disconnect his full-time career from his co-driving years. His fault, Sandown penalty, yeah. Somehow still won the race.
The first of 2 100-kilometre races this afternoon, live on 7 Sport. Tyre Power Tasmania 400. Craig Lowndes, our race leader.
And they did it again, 2015. Yeah, I think so. I think 2015. Was it a belts issue or something? There was something that he didn't do right. 2018. No, I mean 18 they won.
They just swamped him.
Uh,
It was a terrible start for Russell. Like it didn't let the handbrake off. So when it first jumped, it just didn't even move. This is the drama in the middle of the field.
wow.
Garth, and around the outside is David Wall. So there were three abreast trying to get into turn one. And the real winners
15 they had some metal they
Rivalries,
dropped on.
jumped 5 spots.
Ah.
Dave Reynolds back 6 spots.
Okay.
Good, lot of contact, good
Bloody
safety
hell.
from Garth. A lot of opposite block on that car to get through. Mostert also down 5 spots.
Wingcup sitting behind Lowndes. How long will his patience run?
No drive. There he is, middle of screen at the moment, the Lockwood entry. So he's down the order slightly 10th. He was a winner here last year. And Jason Bright also down the order at the moment. They changed that car dramatically back to last year's setup. He was a winner here last year. But they've abandoned the experiments that they were running with yesterday. Marco? Yeah, just picking up on you boys noticing Mostert down in the pack. I was watching him early in the race. When you're coming out of the hairpin, if you're going to put yourself on the outside,
Bloody hell, look up there.
and you run down into turn 6
That Moffat, I think.
outside, all very good, because what happens in your mirror is there's cars lined up behind the car you're trying to go around the outside.
Jack Perkins, the forever slow guy.
Exactly what happened to Jack.
In the middle of 2015. Don't know what happened to Wingcup that year. Yeah, he's just no speed. Isn't qualifying well. Isn't well. He was racing well enough, but he just didn't have the speed. That's Townsville. Nothing changed. He just stunk. Yeah, it's because he got bitten by a snake. That's why. That's all you can say. Yeah, he just got bitten by a snake. That's why he had a bad year. He didn't start too bad though, because he was leading the championship after the first race, and then just things just going wrong, and then no pace for ages.
Now getting himself into position to have a crack at Lowndes. It's a 42-lap race, so there's no need to get a hurry along really at this stage, but when it comes to this frame of mind...
2014 is more everyone just sucked. And he kept his level. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Frosty was doing as well as he could. Problem is they got rid of Will Davison and put Chaz Mostert in, which didn't end up being a big mistake. It's just like sort of cost him a year of being really good. But Frosty was leading the championship for a while. Frosty was leading going into the Enduros. Yep, pretty much. Oh, hang on, no. Wingcup was. He took it just before. And he ended up 500 plus back after that. Yeah. He just, because Wincup's able to carry it out throughout an entire year, and other teams and drivers aren't able to do that. It's like any team or driver that's able to rock up week in, week out, and get 200 points every weekend, everybody else just falls away eventually. Same thing happened in 2015 too. Frosty was on free fall after Chaz almost died. Or pro drive. After Chaz almost died. Yeah. Yeah. They're sort of... And keeping Randall isn't helping him either. Like once they lost well, yeah, Frosty and Chaz, and they've just got Cam. Really, they haven't got anyone that's been really good. It's just been the Cam show, and anyone else has just been an also ran. Perkat's picking his way through. I don't think Waters is good. Ooh. Bit of biffo for TK. Don't think Waters is good. I think it's sort of hard to tell because he's only driven for one team, and he hasn't had a teammate that's been regularly beating him. So it's hard to say. It's like saying whether Peter Brock's good or not. He only had 2 years against competitive teammates, and Jim Richards in '88. Apart from that, it's hard to say if it was the car or him. Better than his teammates. Waters is better than his teammates, yeah. But it's still shit. Waters hasn't had good teammates since Chaz Mostert. That's part of the problem. Like, Chaz could have almost sweep first 3 races and then duck egg. Yeah. That's nuts. Yeah. That's Tickford for you. That's what they do. They just can't do it. Team Choker Racing, that's what they're called. That's why Chaz left, but you know, Chaz got a participation trophy. That's a good rep because the quality of field keeps dropping. Yeah. I think it will improve in the next couple of years because I think there's some very talented drivers that could improve quite a lot. Like Zach Bates, Cooper Murray. Thought he was the next up after SVG left. Yeah, nope. Nope. Brody Kostecki came along. He's the only one fighting him. Yep. Brody Kostecki and Brock Feeney. That's the era we're in now, I think. Everybody else is just like they're there sometimes. And maybe Ryan Wood. And Matt Payne. Yeah, Matt Payne there too. Oh, that was, he almost took out Rick as well. That was, see what he drivers sailed past Waters. Yeah. It's Tickford, I think. Tickford just aren't doing it right. But, you know, but it's hard to tell because there's so many factors that go into it. You know, the field and team quality is improving. Yeah, well, Groves are better than Tickford. And Matt Payne's a great driver, and Kai Allen is coming good. I mean, obviously got into the finals last year, got his first win at Christchurch. Even Kai Allen could be better than Waters. That's what happens when you hold on to shit drivers. Yeah. They're ruthless with Will and David. But now they're scared. With Will and David. Groves. Or you mean Tickford is? Drop Will Davison for Mostert, yeah. I don't think that was a total mistake. And drop Reynolds for Waters, yeah. Yeah. Because Reynolds was still good. wouldn't have.
In the dirt, rooster tail, rocks flying, no speed in that. The corresponding
But you got to admire their dedication to their junior program when they know they've got someone who's good, who's coming through. So they dropped Will and got Alex in their fourth card. That wasn't them. That was Charlie Schwerkolt having no idea what he's doing.
Black flag, mechanical black flag, because parts were falling off the car. Now this is his rear left bumper we saw flapping around. And as you can see, it's a composite material. It's actually very light. I was speaking to Frank Adamson, the category technical manager, who's got to make
it's Mr. Clips come off it.
But as you can see, that in itself is not dangerous. But what he's worried about, if it flies off, goes into the crowd or something, it is dangerous. So that's why he does it. Speaking of, we've got a car flying off down there. The end of the back straight.
Rick Kelly's off.
Rick Kelly, so that's going to trigger a safety car.
Did someone hit him or did he do it by himself? Did he run out of talent?
He's just going to dig a deeper hole, I think. It's a high speeder too, that one. The gravel trap does its job beautifully.
Might have been having a bit of before, and then Jack Perkins. Oh yeah, like I think the only one. I think there were 2 times. I think maybe even 3 times that Charlie Schwerkolt has been getting it right in recent years. Frosty was a good get. Scott Pye was a pretty good get, but they just had issues with the team. David Reynolds was a good get, but Anton De Pasquale was that's the cherry on the cake. That's the cherry on top. Anton De Pasquale he actually nailed it with that one. Alex Davison and Jack Perkins, no, there were better drivers around, surely. Like I was shocked to see Anton doing such a good job because he broke the curse at Team 18. He and the engineer choice to move to HRT. The fuck was he thinking? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he was hoping for. He stayed at FPR. It would have been. They would have had a very competitive car. The problem that he had was he kept on switching drivers every year until he got Lee Holdsworth, and then he was happy with Lee for some reason. But Lee wasn't a top driver. He was good at GRM, and that was about it. Good mid-tier driver, yeah. But when he drove for Groves against David Reynolds, he was nowhere compared to Dave. No. The last time that he was impressive as a full-time driver was probably Bathurst 22, I think. Because Koloff put on the front row and led the first few laps. No business coming back. Yeah. I think, no, but they only did that because they couldn't put Matt Payne in. That's why. And maybe Lee was the best available at the time. They wanted an experienced driver to warm the seat, give someone a chance that didn't have a chance, that maybe missed out before. It was done for Lee, not the team. Okay, yeah. Yeah, he could have gone back to back. Yeah. Yeah, because the Chaz's car was still pretty good, 22. Definitely could have done it. We still don't know why he fired off.
Just the right spot without making the fence, thankfully, and he's out there now. But on the radio, subsequent to that, he was talking to them about the front brakes. Mark Scope said before the break that possibly explain why
brake failure. Yeah. Those damn Nissans. It's just no one can drive the damn things. Apart from Caruso when he starts cooking at the end of the year. Also 2015.
by the acceleration zone. So
Can't stand him. What? Rick Kelly. Yeah. Because there were plenty of times where it's just like he stuffed it up. Probably should have had a better year. James Courtney. Oh, James Courtney. You can't stand James Courtney. Is he just like annoyingly there all the time or something? They just keep on talking to James Courtney. My favourite 2015 drinking game is take a shot every time they mention Ash Walsh. He's being a dog all year. What? Driving aggressive. Oh, really? Yeah. It's been a while since I watched 2015. There are so many years to watch. Will Davison beef. Yeah. Were there other incidents? I don't remember.
This has really helped Russell Hinkle, guys. It's a big gap back to Courtney. This is putting him back in contention to get on the podium. There's to be no passing before they get to the control line.
Cotter's Karma in Sydney.
They can't pass. So they're coming up to the zone.
Oh, with the helicopter.
Got to get the car straight before you gas it up. Lowndes is in control. It's all up to him.
It's interesting. There's a few drivers. I think those 3 2006 rookies all had injuries in their full-time careers. Courtney, Davison, and Holdsworth. That like took them out of races or gave them an injury that thought might write them out of the next round. Like Will Davison had his big crash 2017 Tassie. But oh, is that a DJR move? Oh my god. Didn't miss a race. No, that's right. But big crash, big injury. And it makes you wonder, maybe like was his back fully better since then? That was the beginning of the end of techno anyway. I think the beginning of the end of techno was it was probably downhill since 2014 or 2015 because that's when they said they last updated the car. And so it just got worse and worse and worse. 2016 was like, it was not as good as 2015. Will Davison wasn't able to get the same results that SVG was able to. Stander got a penalty now. Oh! Here we go. SVG is better. Didn't Will win in Tassie? Will won in... He won and got a podium at Tassie, and he got a podium at Sandown, and then the win at Bathurst. That's all he got. The rest of it's just like the occasional top 10. Good results for a single car team. Yeah, and for a team that clearly didn't have the money to do it once it started drying up for him. Because I'm watching him in Darwin, SVG got a new car. Maybe that was the last time then. I think that was part of the SVG deal. Give us a new car. Maybe. I think they had money. It was the Tony Quinn money. The VIP pet foods. money, able to cover those sorts of costs. And then once that deal was over, they didn't have the money to buy a new car. Triple A went and took that too. They took the car as well for Lowndes, probably, or surely not, because they would have built a new car. Oh, they took Tony Quinn as well. Yeah. Tony Quinn probably just got sick of Jono Webb's bullshit, I think. I think Jono Webb just wasn't, like, maybe he was batting out of his league with what he was doing, but he would just say dumb stuff to the media and be like, oh yeah, we're not going to upgrade, but when we're winning races, then we'll upgrade. It's like, you can't win races if you don't upgrade. Mm. I was an idiot. Yeah. Wish he never won Bathurst. Yeah. Yeah. He's just one of those guys that, like, if he was just allowed to be a professional racing driver, he wouldn't be caught saying dumb stuff like that. He was also a very aggressive driver as well. 2017 Todd Hazelwood at Sandown. I think there were quite a few times where I'm like, Jonathan Webb needs to not be driving that car because he's damaging it constantly. But he got a top 10 with Tim Slade at Premier 2023. The way they treated LeBrock 2018. So fucked. Yeah. I think 2019, LeBrock was thinking about walking away, but he ended up staying. He brought them truck assist, and then when he left, he took truck assist with him. If they had nothing, and then the Team Sydney stuff happened, and they still had nothing. It's just Jono Webb, man. Just. Chatting shit about LeBrock, saying he's not good enough. Yeah. And while that might be true, LeBrock was driving a truck. He was just driving a tractor. Getting the car to the endurance and he's dead last. That's right. LeBrock got a freaking award, like $10,000, for passing the most cars because he was constantly qualifying last and picking people off. And now he's back at MSR and he's pinching top 10s. Until Zach Bates gets good halfway through the year. Oh, Lowndes. Day goes from bad to worse. That wasn't too bad though. He only hit him, didn't spin him or anything. Courtney holding up Frosty, but I reckon Frosty doesn't have speed. Watch Bathurst 2014. Never seen a carry bigger than Mostert Morris. Yeah. Yeah, Morris was not good. Liverpool carriers are standing. Yeah. Just Morris just crashing into people. Not even about the crashes either. Just Morris was not fast. He was a mobile chicane. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm like, I don't remember seeing Morris passing anyone. It's just basically when Chaz got in the car, then he starts passing people and dragging the thing up the front. Better go a lap down because of him. Oh no. Morris carried them to a top 5. God only knows how. What? Oh, Mostert carried him. God only knows how. Yeah. Safety cars, I guess. McLaughlin. Extra earlier in the day. Make sure you jump online and find the video of Scott and Robert Dalber and their trip up to Sweden in between. Our last event of this one. Boy, did they have some fun on the ice. They also toured Polestar and Volvo factories in Gothenburg. Robert showing around his hometown, the northeast of Sweden. So Scotty hasn't got the pace to beat Ingle somehow. Daryl Easton's on the car in 2015, by the way. I think that's Quinn still. Yeah. It was. That's what I mean. So 2015, they still had Daryl Easton's. I think they still had it in 2016 as well, but then they didn't have a good sponsor lined up for 2017. But maybe it was the arrangements might have been less money or something like that. And they just didn't have anyone. The reigning Bathurst winners didn't have anybody to sponsor the car. Like, it's such a bad job of running a team to be like, oh, we don't have anyone to sponsor the car. And then Woodstock ended up sponsoring the team for the entire year. SVG stuck behind David Wall. Had no sponsors in 2012. Yeah, true. Still competitive. I think they might have put like family money in as well. Like they might have been cashed up at that time, and they still probably blew all their money in 20. I think the only sponsor they had was VIP Pet Foods 2013 on SVG's car. They had that police one on Webb's car. They had something else. Ooh. It's a big locker by Brody. Look at Daryl chocolates. After like 2 rounds. Oh yeah. On Webby's car. Yeah. Because I was trying to remember, didn't they have a sponsor on Webby's car at Kota? So yeah. I think that was for Austin. And then they had it for like, I don't know if it was a full year. But then I guess got Darryl Lee back on after VIP Pet Foods, which VIP Pet Foods was also Tony Quinn. Full year. Okay, yeah. Unless Courtney got past. No, he's still in front of Winnipeg. Oh. Oh. Yeah, Frosty hasn't got the speed to beat Courtney. But this is the year that tyres suck and no one's passing anyone. Who's not hate Courtney? They didn't do anything wrong. Whoa. He goes so much bigger than his talent. Yeah. Maybe. Every year he says he can beat Wing Cup. Every year. Yeah, you got to drive for a team that can do it, and you got to beat your teammate first. It's like, shut up, mate. Beat Garth Tander. Why can't we beat them? We did it before. He did. One time. It's because you used their cars. Yeah, pretty much. Winning races, isn't it? 888 Fords. Which I think was a weird thing why they had new cars which didn't have mechanical reliability. Yeah. That's it. Strike when there's a weakness. Well, 69 points and Wing Up had 2 DNFs. Yeah. That's it. I think Courtney didn't have any either. Like, DNF can be pretty much fatal. Just scraping, the 20 points you get for coming 24th is good enough. Yeah, like he did it with speed. Yeah, it wasn't a dominant performance. It was just he was just in the mix. Got lucky. But timing and luck. Yeah. It's luck if you didn't do anything. Them every year since chatting shit, man. Yeah.
So he saved himself or made up another 3 spots after the incident. And let's take a look at this last corner, last lap. We've seen it.
I like I said, he wasn't talking shit when he said that. They're talking. I think it was one of those video things where they talk to the drivers. Even this season, I'm watching, he's still chatting shit. Yeah. Well, what's he saying? Is that when he's on the podium or something? What was I thinking? But I did an interview in Adelaide. Oh, like after he won the race, asked him if he can beat Wing Cup. Yeah. But they were. What else is he meant to say? Yeah. He's gonna say, no one can beat Wing Cup, he's the best. Oh, pre-event. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, well, that's the thing is that when journos ask you a question, like, what are you supposed to say? Like, they're like, are you going to beat Wing Cup this year? So I'm gonna try, or yeah, of course I am. Act like you got some confidence going. Leading the championship first 2 rounds though, so yeah. Oh, was it 2015? 20, hang on. Hang on, who was leading after? I think it was like Fabian Coulthard was leading or something. No, that can't be right. It might have been. Oh, I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say? We were talking about. I just got lucky. Oh, the I think it was some sort of video series where they're asking the drivers, could you beat SVG in equal machinery? And JC was like, well, I already did. So yeah. In 2008, when SVG was in his second season, basically a rookie, and JC's just smashed him. That was funny. Uh, I'm like, he's not wrong, but obviously JC wouldn't. If JC can't beat Cam Waters in equal machinery, he can't beat SVG in equal machinery. Ah. Uh, he's a funny guy. I like JC, but sometimes it's just like, yeah. Oh, wait, SVG Raw AF. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not it's not a fair comparison because you got JC arguably at his peak. Um although actually he's still having issues. I don't know if it was he was crashing on by being a bad driver or crashing or having DNFs um because of mechanical failures, but actually crazy the timeline. Yeah, well, JC rocked up and he was really good straight away. He was really fast straight away. And they had like a good enough car to be racking up podiums that he could have had a lot better results. But like it says a lot about how long SVG was around for that he was teammates. Webb was SVG's co-driver in '08 as a rookie, and Webb had him driving for his team in 2013. Ah, yeah, it all comes back around. So, uh, where is it? Do I have SVG somewhere? Oh wait, yeah, a whitewash. It's like a lot of races where I think I did. I made a clip talking about JC could have had a better championship, but I don't really have the footage. But there's a lot of bad races there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not too bad. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's like that's too many bad races there. That's like still comes sixth in the championship though. That's like a Greg Murphy sort of year. That is. Ambrose told him, "Don't go SBR. They're falling off." Yeah, yeah. Well, Ambrose must have felt like they didn't win the championship because they weren't the best team anymore. What was it? JC should have said to Ambrose, "Don't go to NASCAR. You're falling off." Because the mistakes that Ambrose was making in '05. It's like, yeah, blame the car, mate. Blame the car. It's obviously the car's fault. You know, they did win it. Yeah. With Engel. They did, yeah. uh, oh. It's just some drivers just talking shit. They're just talking out of their ass. Scape wanted him at HRT bad. Yeah, well, And he probably should have got him too because the '06 car was good, but even then, Scaife was having issues. It would have made no difference, I don't think. Um, because HRT was sort of falling off. I don't know what Scaife's beef with Todd is. Yeah. Todd was picking up the pieces when Scaife was struggling. But Todd wasn't great. Where have I got him in my tier list? He's like 3rd tier. I want to write like I need to have like clear cut rules when it comes to what is allowed in my tiers, and then I can adjust the parameters or whatever you want so that then it's very clear cut where they go. He's there because of his post HRT days, so fell off really hard. Todd. If it ended at like 2009, he'd be higher. Oh, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But he was up against Scaife, and Scaife's one of the best to ever do it. And then the thing I always say about Todd at Kelly Racing is that I think he was making a lot of sacrifices and doing a lot more stuff behind the scenes. Todd, as a professional driver, was pretty good. He was competitive against Greg Murphy, and he picked up the pieces when Scaife was struggling. He was like, it's what you want. If your star driver has a bad day, you want your second driver to be there to pick it up. And Todd was often able to do that. And when Scaife started falling off, Todd was getting poles and Scaife wasn't getting any in 2007. And they got Garth Tander. They should have Scaife should have retired at the end of 2007. But I think I've thought out loud that Scaife just wouldn't have known until 2008. It was the only time that he was going to be able to do it. Got to add SVG to the Lowndes one, by the way. Yeah. Yes, I do. 2016 to 2018. So, right. A comma there. Yeah. So already falling off in 2008, in 2007. Scaife was, yeah. I just mean like his retirement decision, the mistake he made at Bathurst was telling. And just mean like in his own head, he wouldn't have, like 2007. He was still good enough, but he wasn't really getting it done like he used to. And then 2008, he was getting absolutely destroyed by Garth Tander, and so that's when it was obvious to retire, and then it became obvious to him. No way. Bathurst, he choked. Gold Coast, he choked. Hang on, where's my... Is this Scapey here? 2007. Oh, yeah, crashed then. Bahrain, he sucked. Yep. Gold Coast, bad. Yep. Quite a few races. Phillip Island, decent. Yeah. It was his 200th round, wasn't it? Or was it 200 races? Might have been 200 races. For a factory team, yeah. Should have been doing better. Because like he was regularly out qualifying Todd, but how many front rows is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Todd's got 1, 2, 3, 4. About the same, but Todd was getting poles. For a factory team, he was sticking it up. Yeah. And he missed Sandown. Yeah, well, he had appendicitis, so he let Tony Longhurst drive his car. And they weren't too bad, actually. I think it was Cito and Longhurst. Two-point rewind. Yep. The fact those old people could drive those cars and still be competitive tells you about the quality of the field. Horrendous. Yep. Yeah, for sure. That's why guys like Todd and Rick Kelly looked so good at the time, is because. But I think it became more obvious once Frosty and Whincup were getting signed, and then they started doing well, and then everyone's gone, oh crap, we need to get better drivers. So it was like, quick, get Garth Tander, who's actually good. 3 cars were on the lead lap. Yeah. I don't think it was that bad in 2007. Maybe it's Sandown, I don't know. Because that's like 80s lead lap. Maximum 7 cars? No. No. Means Sandown. Alright, let's find Sandown 2007. And just find the very end. And go to the very end. And just see what the times were. Oh, the list? Like the driver list? Okay. Yeah, Frosty and Matt Halliday. James Courtney, Dave Bernard. It's decent. Todd Kelly, Nathan Pretty. Garth Tander, Craig Baird. No. Jamie Whincup, Craig Lowndes. Yes. Stephen Richards, Owen Kelly. Rick Kelly, Paul Radisich. I think the rat was past it. Stevie J and Will Davo. They're good. JR and Greg Murphy. Not too bad. Russell Ingall, Luke Yordan. Not so good. Lee Holsworth, Dan Canto. Max Wilson, Michael Caruso. Yeah. Alex Davison, Andrew Thompson. Yeah, it's a lot of meh in the field. McConville, Reynolds, Owen, D'Alberto. Owen and D'Alberto's not too bad. Brighton, Macro, and they almost won Bathurst. Cito and Longhurst, 20th. Jason Barguana, Grant Danier, Marcus Marshall, Kane Scott. SVG and Johnny Mack. Andrew Jones, Song Wills. Paul Dumbrell, Paul Wheel. Yeah, that's not a good one. Paul Morris and Steve Ellery. Well, the Morris bit's not so good. There's a lot of drivers. Grant Denyer in a supercars field. He was a racing driver back in the day. Like, now he's like a famous TV presenter. But he was a driver. It was like the Jack Perkins back in the day. You know, probably a lot of people think of him as a TV guy, but he's a racing driver who went on to do went on to be more successful on TV. Damian White, bro. He was a Utes driver. He was a Utes champion, I'm pretty sure. Damian White was a V8 Ute champion. The rule enforcer is fucking driving. Yeah. I think he became the, what do you call it? The rule enforcer years later. I think it was 2015. Just literally an alley-oop win for Wingcup and Lowndes. Yeah. I said, here, take this win. Yeah. Yeah. There's only 3 cars in the field that you have to beat today, so the rest of them are just going to fall way back. So all you have to do is not make any mistakes, and then you win. All right, let's have a look. Look at him bolting from the field. Bye-bye. Would have been a fair number of safety cars too because of all those mid drivers. The year before they had a pit stop drama. Went a lap down. They still win. I think they did. Was it 2006? Still finished third somehow. Yeah. Come on, show us the numbers. Seeing some people that are still there. Yeah. Well, if they're good enough, they get to stick around. Wingcup Lisp, yeah.
I knew with a couple laps to go, even if it did rain, we still would have run it out on slick. So, no, great feeling. It gives us all some confidence going into the big one at Bathurst. Well, it's the first. It's another enduro in the cupboard. I mean, the Sandown 500 now has Jamie Wingcup as well as Lowndes' name on it. It's a good feeling, mate. It's a good feeling. It's another tick in the another box tick. So, still got another couple to go, but very happy with today's performance. Go and enjoy it. Thank you. Cheers. Has been a really good team performance. Both drivers, fast car, good setup, good strategy.
Oh, they're doing the podium on that.
Good crowds to see them. Fascinating race unfold here. He just loves it. Now the question is, what does this mean for 3 weeks' time? It looks like this.
These days they took the helmet off. Did a lap behind the safety car. Ah. Look at that. Up to 7th. You were right. Wow. And Rick Kelly was second. 2 seconds behind. Oh, hell. That's Far out. Some races are like that, I think. Sometimes you have races where it's just. I think 2018, 2018, was it 2018 CNN? They lapped up telling Anton De Pasquale was 12th, and everybody up to him was lapped. But like that's everyone up to 7th was lapped. Bloody hell. But that says a lot about the quality of the field. Is like I think I said there was only 3 cars that are like these guys are good. Which is just what Wink Up and Lowndes. And not seeing any others, really. It's one where it was only the podium wasn't lapped. Ah, that's just bad. All right. I should do the thing that's the title of the stream. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. It was all Triple Eight podium. Yeah, 2018 was. It was 2018. No, 2018 was the one I was talking about. That it goes up to Anton De Pasquale was 12th, I think. Go check the race. Okay. No, what's the thing that I was gonna need to get my thing ready? Yeah, spot on. Oh, really? Up to 12th. Go me. Where is it? Here we are. Oh, I'll show you this. All right. So, Speed Cafe did a poll about the greatest driver rivalry of the supercars era. And I was thinking, how many of these were like real rivalries? And so, like, you got Scaife versus Lowndes. Obviously, Scaife and Lowndes wanted to beat one another, but I don't remember any banging into one another or anything. They just obviously wanted to beat one another. Then you got Ingle and Scaife. You've got obviously the blow up at Eastern Creek, but was that all there was? And then there was on V8 Superstars. There was just a bit of, I think there was a lot of banter, not necessarily straight up hate or anything. Lowndes Scaife was more off track, yeah. Scaife even wrote in his book, like I don't know what mind games they might have been playing, but I know that Scaife said that the only way he could beat Lowndes was to get his engineer. And so that's what he did for 2000 was to grab Lowndes' engineer, who I think was Rob Starr. Then you got Scaife and Ambrose. You obviously two hard heads who, you got that incident there at Darwin 2004. Then there was that one was it 05 to Eastern Creek. Fair bit of biffo there, but I think the biggest rivalry that I've seen in modern times, per 2005, where they tangled and beached, is Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, where it was like every single race they managed to find each other and get tangled. I don't think we've seen anything like that with supercars. Like you don't see quite as much shitting the bed when they see the other guy in supercars. The Ambrose versus Murphy one, I don't know if that one's really quite as real because Murph wasn't up there against Ambrose as often as Scaife was. I think he was probably more jealous that Ambrose came in was immediately good. But I think the reason that these things come up in the books later on is because um they're asked to put it in the books. Definition of rivalry is a bit different. Yeah, I when I think of a rivalry, I think like obviously you got to beat your teammates. That's your first rival. And if you're not beating him or if you don't care, you're probably not going to be that successful. Um when I think of a rivalry, I think of somebody that there's a it might be fueled by a bit of jealousy where you're like that guy needs to be shown up. Um, to them, any altercation creates a rivalry. Yeah, that's what I think. That like going on Murph versus Ambrose. This is like one time. Then there was Gold Coast '04, and that's about it. Oh, there was also I was watching um Barbagallo 2004. Any altercation creates a rivalry, irrelevant of how close they are on track. Yeah, but do they show a whole lot of incidents where they're talking and they don't like each other very much? I suppose they talk about. Did they have Will Davison and James Courtney at all in the list? Like McLaughlin and Van Gisbergen was obviously. Wood and Feeney is a rivalry. Yeah, well that's because Wood's up there more often. Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Oh, they said something in this that was just total crap. Says it didn't stop this seemingly magnetized duo from colliding on several more occasions. Like when? They don't race as much. Yeah. See, and that's why I find it hard to understand whether it's a rivalry or um, if they're not around each other as much, then it's not as much of a rivalry. It would be like lack of a better word to describe it other than rivalry. Mm. Wink up, Wheaton Bottom is a rivalry. Yeah, but they were just um and they had some big duels over the years, especially 2013. It was really heating up, and one got a leak back. Like Pukekohe 2013. Disagree. One race winner bottom made a shit move. That was it. Yeah. In Winner Bottom's book, he basically says that there wasn't much. He didn't think there was much of a rivalry because he was just beating everyone. Bathurst wasn't a part of that story, wasn't it? They had a big battle. Winterbottom just did a good job. Yeah, and they probably had plenty of races where one of them just put the move on, pulled away, got the win. No contact, nothing. Yeah. Wingcup went for a move, didn't make it. That's it. Yeah. They tried to do something about Waters and Lowndes as well. Try to make up that there was a big rivalry between them because they had a disagreement. Winterbottom remembered Adelaide 2008. Oh, when they crashed, wasn't that Lowndes though? Wingcup straight up pushed him out of the way. Oh, really? Well, yeah, the drivers are gonna remember stuff and be like, "Oh, watch out for that guy, he might push me out of the way again for the win in race 1." Okay, right. How he didn't get a penalty. Yeah, well, that's, like, the way the penalties are applied on several occasions. I think, a few streams ago, we watched, John Bowe tipping Scaife out of the way and caused a huge crash and ended up getting disqualified. Like, with one like that, I don't know if you get disqualified these days. I think you might get, like a drive-through, like what Cam Hill got, rear bumper to front bumper. Yeah, like he's just gone bump and pushed him out of the way, bump and run, got him. SVG used to do stuff like that. Just sort of give him a little helping hand, get him out of the way, shift him out of the way, and then pass him. But it wasn't like a bump and run. He would just like tap him and then get a run alongside him and get the move done. When Rodham said the move he did at Bathurst was for that. Okay. In 2013. Or was it 2000? I think 2008 they didn't have a good enough car, Frosty and Richo. Kind of said you only have 2 get backs. Hmm. And the years after the fact. Yeah. I feel like for Frosty it was a lot more he wanted to achieve the big things at some stage in his career, and to do it while Whincup was still good was important to do. Um, and was probably less to do with rivalry and more to do with personal satisfaction. Um, Whincup wasn't having a good year when Frosty won the championship, and so Whincup wasn't in the conversation. Lowndes was, but I don't think it was much of a there was much battling between them going on. Um, Imagine all 125 races Whincup won who were racing. All 7 championships. Yeah. My chest would hurt. Yeah. That's it, and it's just difficult because Triple Eight's the best team. So, I mean, these days, Groves could be one of the best teams. I think, um, Brody Kostecki seems to think that DJR is on that same level as Triple Eight. Um, and maybe Walkinshaw, but, hmm, hate that rhetoric because the best team interchanges. Yeah, it depends on they're the most proven team. Yeah. Yeah, they are. And but it's not, yeah, people win because yeah, well, it's not like they're the best. Yeah, Lowndes was at Triple Eight too, yeah, and Lowndes wasn't beating Whincup. It was Whincup doing a lot of that, getting those results. Um, Getting smacked 50 different ways. Yeah. Pretty much. Uh, the Supercars talk, yeah, I know who he is, yeah. He's got some strange views on things sometimes. It's like he has this beef with Triple Eight. I think he just likes to please people with his views on things. Whereas, I'll have my views on things and then I'll be happy to talk about my views on things. Whereas, yeah, he loves MSR because he's got connections there. Legit rejoicing when other teams win, when Triple Eight win. Whatever. Yeah, and then complaining about it being part of the Instagram people who say that, Triple A won another race, blah, 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 winch, winch, winch. Yeah, it's like book face. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's try, let it go. Yeah, pretty much. Some people, they like the Instagram crowd and the Facebook crowd of people who just suck and whinge about the way that things are. It's like, it's just the way it is, all right? And a lot of the time, people complain about things and they don't even understand what they're talking about. Like that he has proper discussions. So, yeah, I'm been meaning to watch, see what he thinks about the rivalry stuff. Actually gets in the comments and responds, "Yeah, I love that." I've had many times posted a comment, responded to him, talked about all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Um, yeah, he's a good part of the community. Um, and yeah. And I think I was talking to Brad Vaughan and asking how he got to be interviewed on Supercars Talk because Supercars Talk does the interviews with the junior drivers. It's hard to defend Triple Eight without being a glazer, though. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. You gotta. Yeah, it is because if you're trying to polish the turds, that's when you need to be not doing that. Kind of have to let them get their shit off. It'd be like people who say like, and we've had this argument several times about how good DJR Team Penske are or were. Whereas I say it was like they made a Scott McLaughlin team because they weren't helping Fabian be up there. Sometimes I'm legit itching to respond. Oh, it's so hard when people are just saying things that aren't true. Um, yeah, and you just ignore them. Like I think I saw somebody complaining about Macca Jones, and I like to defend Macca Jones, but I also like to let's correctly analyze this, see what's going on, and like think seriously about what the way that things are and stuff like that. Because you know, I get why he's back there, but he's also shit. Yeah, I think so. Um, because like, yeah, it's kind of hard to compare him to his teammates because his teammates are often better drivers. So, so you spoke to Brad Vaughan? Yeah, at the Bend 500 last year, I asked him how Supercars Talk got in, how he got on Supercars Talk, and he's like a regular on Supercars Talk, and he was like, yeah, he just like messaged me and on Facebook and got talking. He was happy to jump on and do the show. I was like, that's just cool that he's reached out to these drivers and made that stuff happen. I saw Brad Vaughan last weekend for free. I think he does it for free. I mean, it's not like he's Brock Feeney or anything. Um, yeah, I don't think he pays for it. He's important to the minor sports. Yeah. Yeah. I think our top drivers should be doing it for free with low level content creators. Have to start somewhere. Yeah. I think the top drivers also have busy schedules at times. And so, but also, for me, I don't reach out to any drivers and ask to do anything. So I don't know. I could try if I felt like it, but I want to get to a level where I want to be talking about stuff like that. These shit Fox interviews that just regurgitate shit. Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of the time they just thought they're all just asking the same questions or they're insinuating something when they ask a question. Um, or it's like a generic question that's just not very interesting. Just can't stand Jesse Yates. Yeah. No, sometimes if you it's like they can't afford different people. uh I don't mind her. I think she's fine. Uh, although I mean I'm not really watching the full broadcast these days, so why are you everywhere I go? Yeah. Like on the Motorsport 360 or whatever they're calling it. I'm sick of your voice. That's what happens when you watch anything that's made on Fox. She's like a big part of Fox Motorsport. So you gotta watch V8. I mean, V8 Sleuth don't do interviews. So actually, they do since 2015. Yep. Uh, the way they did it in 2015 was good. Okay. Her, Russell, and Scaife. Yeah. Yeah. That. I think uh, Russell Ingall's wife was putting stuff up on YouTube as well as clips of Russell talking about all these different things, even stuff that's been talked about forever, like hard racing. Then commentators separate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. That's pretty much what they had. I think. Yeah, 2015, because that was the year that Scaife sort of had off, right? Don't need the commentators also doing the broadcast. Yeah. Hmm. It's like what Formula One do, where they've got like the tech guy, and he talks about the tech stuff, but he doesn't do any of the grid talk stuff, grid walk, or the commentary. They do like the warm up and then the post round talk, but it's just yeah, it's asking drivers questions. She doesn't know the first thing about supercars. I mean, she probably knows about as much as a lot of people, but I think she's come into it from a TV perspective, from a media perspective, rather than like a lifelong fan. Um, I think I did listen to an interview on Rusty's Garage, I think. Questions she's asking to surface up gossip bullshit. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, it's not easy to ask people questions. Not insulting her intelligence. No. Um, yeah, and the problem is that like, what I do is what I do, you can't sell it to the masses because I'm for, like, hardcore. I wanna talk about nitty-gritty little things, whereas, um, what the broadcast is doing is trying to reach people who are channel flicking and see some racing and they don't know anything. Like, I mean, I want people that have driven the car explaining things to me. Yeah, well, that's what Neil Crompton was good for, and they've got plenty of ex-drivers doing that. Lowndes, horrible commentator. Get off my TV. Yeah. Uh, well, I don't Lowndes hasn't even, um it's like he doesn't know what he's saying next to what he's what, what races, did I don't think Lowndes commentated any main game races. Winterbottom is okay. Yeah, he's sort of generic. Um, Courtney talks like a step behind. Fake excitement. Oh, really? What else was it? Like when Scott Pye came on and did the talks at Nail On and Pit Lane goated. Yeah, well, I think pit lane reporting is sort of easy to do, but maybe there's people who don't do it well. Because I think Larko in pit lane's pretty good as well. Tanner and Crails either goated in the box. Yeah, I don't know. I saw took me a moment to realize that Crailsy was doing the commentary when Chaz was having a tantrum at Brock Feeney, down the straight banging into one another. I think he was commentating when um, with Chaz and Brody as well. And Garth's good because Garth will give you the straight facts, and he did both NZ rounds, yeah. Because I think bumping down the straight was at Taupo, and obviously the biffo between Chaz and Brody was Christchurch. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure. How I feel about Garth as a commentator, but I feel like you learn stuff, and I like commentators who they say something that you go, "Oh, I didn't think about that," or they say something that just stuff that makes you think. Whereas telling you what's happening, so the dynamic is good. Yeah. Yeah, well, the dynamic's important, and they sort of chucked that out the window when they got rid of Crompo and Scafey because those are two guys that like one another and have a bit of banter. Crosy's really good at opening the floor for Tander to explain things. Yeah. But does he ask Garth questions, or it's just the way he does the commentary gives Tander the opportunity to step in and talk about this is what's going on? Nailon isn't good at it. He's struggling to keep up with the action, the way he does it. Yeah, well, maybe Chad's trying to commentate every little thing that happens, and yeah, don't know. I'll have to watch some clips. I think Chad's legit speed racing through it. Yeah. Um, there was a good track. There was a track commentator at Malala last weekend, and he seemed pretty good. But I was like, I've been in one of these garages like for most of the day. When did you show up? Like he just like he was talking about, oh, this is what's happening with this car or whatever website I gave you. Post the race like 24 hours after the fact. Okay. The Russian website, so you can be watching the whole season for free delayed. Okay. Right. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'll do that today. I don't know. I got a few things to do, but not too much. Just gonna do an oil change and then gonna do my washing. And then, yeah, maybe I'll watch some full races of stuff from this year. It'd be good to think about what I like and what I don't like. Can't find it. Let me know. I'll send you links. Yeah, I will. I'll let you know if I can't find it. I think it'll probably be in our Discord chat, but I think I did show it on the stream ages ago, so I should be able to find it. But I've done that many streams at this point that it's going to be hard to find the specific one. So probably probably better off. Yeah, I think you can do like a search or something on Discord. I'll probably do that. Yeah, Discord's probably my best bet. Yeah. All right. Well, I think I've done my thing about rivalries. Get a translator too, so you can read it in English. Yeah, yeah, that would probably help. What does it do? Probably doesn't do closed captions because it's a Russian website. So yeah. All right. Well, I gotta go to the toilet. So I think I might wrap up the stream. Surprised I didn't do Wink Up versus Tanda. Yeah. I don't know if there really was a lot of Wink Up versus Tanda. Maybe 2007, but 2008 bit, but that was big for a few years though. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit like 07 to 10, yeah, when HRT was still good. They were going at it. Yeah. Even 2011 a bit. What about it sounds it's a bit the same as Waters and Mostert, really. Although Waters and Mostert was a lot more, they were banging into each other, and when they were at the same team, and then they qualify near one another. They just crash a lot. Yeah, it's not really a rivalry. They're actually friends. Are they friends, or I think they're just like it's not really a rivalry. Yeah, although I think Chaz has talked about it, about a bit of a young bull, old bull, adversaries. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go away now. Thanks for joining. And we got a lot of good yakking done, a lot of good thinking done. And yeah, have a good day. Have a good day yourself. I'll see you next Sunday morning. All right. Bye bye.